animation is probably one of the best ways for someone to tell a story. From slapstick comedy to supernatural drama, what can be made from animation is limitless. One of my favorite aspects about animation, specifically 2D animation, is that it's timeless. That's why watching classic animated TV and film can often be as great as when you first experienced it. Recently, I got recommended a show which many people often call a masterpiece. Cowboy Bebop, a show that combines space science fiction with the Old West. The series debuted over 20 years ago in 1998, but is as enjoyable as many modern anime today. The story is set in the year 2071 and focuses around a group of bounty hunters who go around space in order to catch criminals with a high price on them. There are a lot of things I love about the show, but what I think really brings everything all together is the storyboarding of each episode. Now, while I'm no expert on filmmaking or anything like that, I think the storyboarding found in Cowboy Bebop really makes the world and characters come alive. Despite being a TV series, Cowboy Bebop is set up in a way that makes each episode feel like its own short film. Unlike many other anime, where the shows are mostly driven by story or plot, Cowboy Bebop is a show that is driven exclusively by its character. Characters such as Spike, Jet, and Faye all have a complicated past, and each episode focuses around what kind of people they are. What I think the show does really well is that it's very open to interpretation, and anyone watching can come up with their own conclusion on what the meaning is behind all of this. While at first glance, the show just seems like a cool action series about cowboys in space, looking deeper will allow you to see that there's a lot more going on with the show. Out of all the anime I've watched in my life, Cowboy Bebop is definitely the one that feels the most human to me. Unlike other shows that have insanely large amounts of episodes with long story arcs, Cowboy Bebop has episodes with each having their own small story. Upon first viewing, these small stories might just seem kind of random, but if you watch closely enough, you'll learn that all these small moments all build up to something greater. Cowboy Bebop feels very human to me because life itself is all about the small moments that we experience. A great example of this idea in the show is found within episode 11, Toys in the Attic. The episode starts off on the Bebop ship, and things start to get a bit weird as each of our crew members begin to get sick from something unknown. While it is a cool homage to the movie Alien, what makes this episode stand out to me is that it gives us a big look into the philosophy of each of our characters.
And what was the real lesson? Don't leave things in the fridge.
When I first watched this episode, these things didn't really mean much to me, but as you follow the Bebop crew in later episodes, you will see how the story will put our characters in situations that will force them to choose whether or not to keep or reject their philosophies. This is one of the major themes found throughout the show, and one of the reasons why Cowboy Bebop feels so real to me. While it's easy for us as people to say what we believe in, when the time comes, we never really know what the right choice will be. Cowboy Bebop is a show that has more often than not been called a masterpiece. The animation, the storyboarding, the characters, everything the show seeks to accomplish is done almost perfectly. The meaning that I found while watching the show is that it tells us a story on how people choose to carry the weight of their past. While some people can choose to ignore their past and move on in life, other people are stuck as they are defined by their past. These characters are in no way perfect by any means. They feel like real people because as a viewer, you never know if they are making the right choice or not, but you understand why they make those decisions. I think Cowboy Bebop can be a great show for anyone to watch. At surface level, it's an old western set in space with great animation and soundtrack. But looking deeper into it can let you see that it's more of a character study of how different people deal with the suffering in their lives. Cowboy Bebop is definitely one of my favorite anime I've seen because it gives us a good look on what it means to be human, and more importantly, what it means to feel alive. Thank you guys for watching, and I hope to see you again.